All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BMRL Network. My name is Chris Mayo, the owner and commentator here at BMRL Network and all things BMRL. Alongside in the booth, I've got Will Roberts. How you doing tonight, Will?
Doing good, Chris. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Ready for some racing here at Kansas, one of my favorite mile and a halves outside of Vegas. So it's going to be pretty interesting as these drivers are on the track as we speak.
Yes, indeed, Chris. On the track, setting down their qualifying flying lap. Uh, you know, I kind of like Chicagoland, Kentucky, Kansas. Probably one of my top three. If I had to pick three favorite mile and a halves, Las Vegas would probably be a fourth. So open setup, Cup Series action here in the BNR Cup Series. This is the second season of open setup. So, what are you expecting to see here, Chris?
I don't know. It's a great track for really great racing. We're going to see some two wide battles. Tires are going to be definitely a big factor here, as this track likes to eat up those tires, especially in these corners. These guys during practice were putting down some great laps, and they were putting down some side by side great racing. So I look for it to be a very eventful, very fun race tonight.
I agree with you. Normally, Kansas provides a lot of great racing, multiple grooves of running, and progressive banked track as well. So that helps as well. Um, we should, like you talked about, tire wear should be enough to where you'll see difference with speed compared to newer and old sets, and a lot of racing in store would be helpful. With it being the first race of this season here in the BNR Cup Series, going into the latter part of the year, that is. So uh, normally, Brian tries to get two seasons in a year if he can. So depending on the scheduling and what he decides to do year to year.
Yeah, it looks like Troy Daggett out on the track right now in the 99. Going a little bit up towards the wall there out of two. Everyone so far in turns 3 and 4 has been doing pretty high line. He's going to let to stay right there in the middle. But I think hitting that wall, getting up a little bit too high on turn 2 might have ruined that lap.
It did. I'd have to agree with you there. Troy's normally a fixture. He's last season's Truck Series champion, Chris, in the BNR Truck Series. So great, great to see him out and about competing tonight in the Cup Series.
Alright, well, qualifying is over, so that means the grid is set, and we're going to walk through that grid momentarily. Alright, looks like everything's set up on the screen. Robbie Bice gonna get the pole with Bill Hayes on his outside. In row 2, we got Anthony Lane with Mike Slagter. In row 3, Matthew Hunsaker and Brian Huntley Jr. In row 4, Brandon Moore with Zach Duscher. If I pronounce anything wrong, just let me know.
Deutscher.
Okay. Row 5, we got Chris Campbell and James Hudson. Row 6, I Am Anime and Philip Brigdman.
Bridgman.
In row 7, Aaron Bradford and Dale Rapp. Row 8, we got Joe Stipe and Matt Bryant. Row 9, Evan Amick and Pete Woodrum. In row 10, Robert Amaral and Dion Johnson. In row 11, Jonathan Pereira and Paul Lawson. In row 12, we got Kevin Roy and Josh Small. And rounding out our final row number 13, we got Troy Daggett. Alright, these drivers getting gridded up on pit road. Looks like we've got one more waiting to get out there.
So the progressive banking here tonight, Chris, in the turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4, a total 17 degrees on the lowest, up to 20 degrees. Like I said, that progressive banking The front straightaway is 10 degrees on the dog-legged front straightaway there, and 5 degrees of banking on the back straightaway.
Nice, jeez. Yeah, it looks like our air temp tonight is going to be about 68 degrees. Track temp's about 70 degrees. So, with that 70-degree mark right there, not going to see a progressive tire wear. We're going to see, I think, different strategies play out, but rather cool. Not going to
You're
eat
going to
up.
have to pit 2 times in this race for fuel, Chris. So, like you say, I do agree with you with the aggressive strategy calling, and I think with the cooler temperatures, it's going to be awful racy. These cars are going to get really fast, I feel like. We're going to monitor lap times. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I'm sorry there.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, especially with this next-gen car, not many people have had experience in this next-gen car, and the ones that do, these things are very good on road courses, very good on super speedways, but the rear end a little loose when it comes to mile and a halves.
And there's a slight wind gust too to take note of. It's above 10 miles per hour. That's going to be a key factor. That's going to come to play here. So pace car is going to peel off. Chris coming to the stripe for the opening of this race. The opening green flag. 150 here, BNR start this season.
Green flag, green flag.
There we go, green flag is out. Guys gonna take it 2 by 2, going into turn number 1. The number 1 Robbie Bice out in front. Out to a great start there out in front.
Yes. Sorry, Chris. Terrific shot. Oh, whole shot start on the opening lap. 3 wide, though. Deutscher coming around the outside of that 3 wide. That is Slaughter in the 14th. I know it looks deceiving, but it's Slaughter. It's a long A. He is from Monday nights, I do believe. Me and Brian call a league on Mondays the AMS Cup Series, I believe. Or he could have been from the SRU Xfinity Series. I'm trying to place him now. At the moment, I know he's in a race I call on previous night. Like I said, at the moment, he has forsaken me. But yeah, so great to see 25 car field turnout here tonight, this evening. Man, all we see now, Bice, he has lost the lead and down to 4th position. And now under attack is Deutscher from Slaughter. Slaughter on the bottom lane, Deutscher up top. Oh, that's Huntley. My bad. We got 2 Menards cars. I thought that was Huntley or Deutscher. Huntley's in the lead. Deutscher is in the 2 car. Man, don't you love it, Chris, when people change numbers and you don't get a rundown of numbers, you just get a rundown of names, like or man, oh, I'm just gonna rant now.
Right.
But don't you love that, Chris? New season, and you're so focused on numbers, not names. But Huntley's been leading this entire time, not Deutscher. So the save big money at Menard paint schemes have been confusing me. Look at Anthony Lane up here, man. 4th position, hard charger up here at the moment. Around the outside of Deutscher he goes.
And out of
Look
turn
at that.
4, the 81 actually smacked the wall going to the front stretch, but it didn't slow him down at all.
Brandon Moore is down 4 spots from the opening start in the 88 machine. Troy Daggett is up 5 positions from starting in 25th. He's in 20th. I really love this thing, man. This is great.
Yes, I love it. It gives all the information right there. Everything. Laps, gap, best time, pit lap, pit time.
Yes, Brian Huntley up 5 positions in the lead currently. Zach is in 4th position. He is up 4 positions. Bobby Bice Robbie Dice, my apologies. I just see an R and I think it's a B. He is down 4 positions. He is in 5th position. Bill Hayes is down 4 positions as well in 6th position.
Wait, so
Well,
going back to the laps here, did they
yes, sir.
change it from 130 to 100?
Yes. Brian cut 33 off of it. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I know. Trickery, right?
Yeah, it threw me off there from. I was like, wait, 100 lap race. I thought it was
Yes, it's
130
150
something.
miles now.
Okay.
Don't worry. It won't be the first time this happens, trust me.
We got some drivers back here kind of taking it easy. Evan Emick, one of the first ones to be kind of taking it easy, it looks like.
Hey, at least you pronounce his last name like I do, instead of what Brian does. Brian says Amick. I'm like, I don't think that's how it is. I think it's Amick, but, you know, we both could be wrong. It could be something completely different. You never know, right?
Exactly. It's one of the hardest parts, I think, of being a commentator is
Yes.
getting the names
Getting
right.
the names right.
You know, about 85% of the names are easy, and it's, you know, it's the normal way it looks. And there's some names that's a little bit tricky.
'78 there. Dion Johnson. He's actually, if I'm not mistaken, down under Australian, maybe New Zealand. I never can get the correct flag right, but I believe it's Australian. So just imagine what
I
his,
believe so.
yeah, just imagine what it's got to be like, you know, the time difference and all.
Right. The time difference and then that ping as well.
But he's making it work, man. He's around that outside. He's out 4 positions from where he qualified.
Matthew Hunsaker down 7 positions from qualifying, right in the middle of this this bee's hive right here.
I'm gonna have to get Brian to send me this stuff next time we do tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, hey, send me that SDK link.
Yeah, I did not know you could do that. I mean, it was easy to find, but
I didn't know either, really, or I could have been doing this a lot. Man, this is great. Anyway, so Huntley still leading this race, but Slaughter, he is on his heels. Oh, most contact coming out of turn number 4, right in front of Brandon Moore.
Caution down.
Oh, Jonathan Pereira here, I think, being involved. Gonna have to get a replay here, though.
happened towards the front.
Oh, did it? No.
Or no. Matt Bryant involved.
He's got 2 first names. Oh, we might have to go a little bit further back. That's kind of almost happening in the action, or like already happened. Oh, the car, he has a moment all through the center and out of the corner and just starts whipping around. He off centers himself on the apron and then comes back up and doesn't really make contact with nothing, though, so he does save the car. But the 7 was in the grass. I think he might have been on the binders a bit too much trying. That was Jonathan Pereira in the grass, I do believe, trying to avoid all of that was going on. Ooh, shenanigans happening under caution. Love to see it.
Yeah, and as we're
you hate
looking
to
at
see it.
different cars here, this paint scheme on the 42 looking pretty nice.
Yes, indeed, that's a good paint scheme there by Paul Lawson on the 42, you say?
Get a nice shot of pit road here as everyone coming down pit road. Only one car staying out, Mike Slaughter.
I'm not sure what the tire allocation is this season or for this race. You might have that information better than I do at the moment. But yeah, anytime you get a chance, especially 15 laps into a run here at Kansas, that would be when you would probably want. I mean, you finally got the temperature up in the tires. You finally got it good. But yeah, the good's gone away from the Goodyear Eagles, I like to say, already in that time. So yeah, if you can get coming, as that one song says, if you want it, come and get it.
Right.
So uh, come on down, get a fresh set of tires, bolt them on. But like you said, Mike Slaughter chose not to do that
And I
here.
thought maybe he would come down this time, but he's not going to.
Nope, he's going to stay out and maybe just. I was thinking before the race if it was to stay green, uh, you know, you're probably going to need 2 pit stops, and those are going to be around lap 38 to maybe 44, and then lap. What would that be? Lap 90 to 96, I'm assuming. So, I mean, you are for sure going to have to pit twice for fuel at least. Now, if you have cautions periodically, that's going to help, right? That's going to help go a little bit longer, go the distance. So, may just have to be one green flag stop if we actually do see one at all whatsoever. Like I said, you could get those cautions sprinkled out to where we don't see them.
So I guess the big talking point right here would be Slaughter up in front, staying out.
Yeah, how well of a restart
right.
could he get? Is he just going to be a sitting duck without the fresh tires? Is everybody just going to pass him up instantly, or can he survive? What's it going to be like? We're about to find out. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Lights are off. He's already down on the way down there. Safety unconfines to pit road. Here we go, Chris.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. Brian Huntley getting a nice. He's going to stay even with them on across the straight.
And Del Rapp giving a push
Oh,
to the
spin
back
out in the back. We have a
he caught it
spinner.
way, and he's way down yonder. So iRacing deems it okay. We are still green. So coming out of turn number 2, Slaughter still in the lead too. Finally shifts into 5th gear into turn 3. So interesting. I was hearing I was hearing that they were shifting, is what I was trying to get at. So Slaughter, Huntley, Lane, Bridgman, and Deutscher rounds out the top 5. Del Rapp has fallen back a couple of positions from the restart. Make that a handful now. Dion Johnson, one of the biggest movers, up to 11th, now 10th spot. He's in a tussle with Christopher Campbell.
And there he is in that Jack Daniels paint scheme.
That high side momentum just wrapping it up around that outside lane.
And Robbie Bice down 21 position, and Bill Hayes down 19 positions. So both of those guys having a minute. About 35 seconds on pit road. So not bad on pit road, but not good either. Pete Woodburn up 12 positions now.
Closing in on just being a quarter into this race.
And Brian Huntley does take the lead away.
So it almost feels like those cooler temperatures allow for someone to be out here if they still had a little bit of life left in those tires after about 12 to 14 laps, right, Chris? To maybe play a gamble and kind of stay out if need be later on in the race. Maybe play a wild card per se, if you will.
Right, and looking at the race information, they do have 4 sets of tires, it says, but I don't know if that means 4 sets over the wall or 3 over the wall. So, I think
I think it's going to be the one they start with and 3 behind.
Okay.
I could be wrong, Chris. We can double check during or after the race. So
I want to say it's probably 3 over the wall, that one that they start with, and if that's the case, then this could work out for Slaughter, like you were saying. I mean, they do have 3 green-white checkers. If these other guys are already on one set.
Hey, if you believe like I believe in motorsport, anything is possible. So, and if, like I said earlier, we have sprinkled periodic cautions, right, perfect times to come down, bolt on more tires and try to gain as much ground and stay consistent if you can within that reason.
77 and the 6 kind of have a little contact there going into turn 3. Not much.
That is Jimmy Hudson and Robert Emerald there. I think it's Emerald, but like I said, you can kind of pronounce it either way. It's okay.
Ooh, and the right side of that 4 car definitely has taken a few hits. "25 laps in." Oh, ooh, the 7 a little bit of loose off of turn 4, but he's gonna be able to catch it.
Yes, officially a quarter of the way in now, Chris, and all sorts of action taking place. Different strategies unfolding, and you kind of get to see who has the pace, who doesn't.
Starting to spread out throughout the whole track. Huntley not really running away with it, as Slaughter is right there on his inside.
And Deutscher's there too now. Bridgman's just a step back from them as well, so the top 4 just separated by just under 0.5 of a second.
I like seeing that every lane being utilized, whether it's the very bottom or the very top up next to the wall.
Now that's exactly what I said pretty much at the top of the show, right? Like you can use every lane, you can utilize pretty much every part of the track that you need to within your right, to make that car drive and turn and get the speed out of it that you can hopefully try to find. Like we've been seeing that top lane really be the way to go here.
We got a slow car on the track.
Is that Campbell?
Yes. Ooh, up into the wall a little bit.
Yeah, it has a moment there. Hopefully Campbell can get it straightened out. He had a real good car last year, season. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Kansas. So, 2 Fords leading a Toyota. Then back, I believe, to another Ford. Got to get the handy dandy phone over here. Yes. No, that's a Chevy. My bad. Mike's in a Chevy, and Pete's in a Chevy. So that is, Zach's taking the lead here, and Bridgman into second. So Huntley kind of falling back a little bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not sure what happened there, but
yeah, I'm not sure if Huntley might have got up a little bit too high and might have tagged the wall ever so slightly, or just. Oh, you're looking at it. Love you, bro. This is great.
a little
Oh,
loose.
wow, Huntley. Yes. Deutscher just got right up to that spoiler just enough, and I think maybe Brian had maybe just prematurely overdrove those tires, like you said earlier, taking it to Slaughter, getting the lead away from him while he's on the. So maybe that might come back to haunt Brian here in a little bit. Maybe he wasn't prepared with how the track is changing here. Now Bridgman in the lead over Deutscher.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh
who
man,
was
right in front of
that?
the leaders.
Matt Bryant.
That is, again, and this happens right in front of the leaders here, I do believe. That's his second caution.
Like, just gonna get loose, maybe? Yep, get loose.
Tries to save it, but
and
then
disappears.
he blinks down here, does a few 360s, and slides. Finally gets the brake applied, and then he drives away.
Yeah,
So
I gotta go to a leader, I think, if we want to see what happens to him. Okay, so right there, he kind of spins out a little bit more, I guess, after he gets going again. Alright, but everybody coming down pit road, including... Where is he? Ooh, Brandon Moore gonna beat him off pit road.
you said it funny.
Somebody's spinning out. Oh, the 3. Not sure what happened there. But Matthew Hunsaker...
Looks like he kind of got crossed up on the pit apron there, don't it?
Yeah, let me...
Let's rewind it and embarrass Matt here.
There it is.
He embarrassed himself, right? But coming out here, probably a little bit too much of the old gassaroo. Now there are some bumps down here, and he hits one right there, but he lets it yaw out a bit too much, and he clipped. I think that right front or the right rear clips the transitional part of the apron and the banking there, and it just whips him around. So
Yeah, and that's not going to be too good on those tires either.
nope, and they are letting him get his positions back, so that's nice on the admin body there, I suppose.
Alright, so looking at those pit stop times, your top 2 gas only, but then 3rd through 5th, we're going to have tires. Joe Stipe, they're in 6th place taking fuel only, and everyone else with tires behind them. So, 3 guys on the track only taking fuel. Guess we'll see how those 2 up in the front can handle the guys behind them with tires. I'm gonna see pace car lights go off this time by, and everyone's gonna line up 2 by 2. Brandon Moore and Matthew Hunsick are gonna line them up on the front row. Pretty eventful race so far, and it looks like it's just been single car cautions here off of turn number 4. Just losing the grip and sending it around. So, not any car-to-car contact wrecks here. You car-to-wall contact off of turn 4, but it's just one of those tracks where that outside wall is gonna hit you at one point.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I agree with you. My apologies.
Oh, you're fine. Alright, Mike Slaughter taking tires this time. They're lined up. Pace car coming out of turn number 4, gonna make a left-hand turn down pit road. Brandon Moore and Matthew Hunsicker out in front. And
Green
Brandon's
flag, green
off.
flag.
The outside line not really getting a good start. Could it be those tires? Could he have flat spotted those tires? Didn't take any on that pit stop and then had that spin on the pit road exit. And here they come. Zach Deutscher. Mike Slaughter on the inside. Oh, Mike goes up.
Contact. Yep, Mike walked it up the track. He got arrow tight. Looks like behind the 2 car. So, nevertheless, that doesn't deter nor slow the progression of Brandon Moore down.
Yeah, that 3 car of Matthew falling back now. Like you said, that 88 continuing. He's not losing any track position here.
And Brandon Moore is up 5 positions from where he qualified. Deutscher is up 7. So, a couple of the biggest movers at the moment. But let's look at goodness, Willie. Let's look a little bit further back. We have Pete Woodrum up 11 spots in 7th position. We have Dion Johnson up 10 in 10th position. Josh Mall is up 12 positions and 13 positions. Excuse me, that is Troy up 13 positions in 12th. Josh is up 11 positions in 12th position. 13th position, my apologies. So, one of the biggest losers at the moment is our pole sitter, Robbie Bice, in the number 1 Toyota. He is back 20 positions in 21st position from where he started. Just taking a look through the field and see our biggest movers and biggest losers at the moment. Bill Hells, another one of the biggest losers. He is down 17 positions in 18th position.
So it looks like, yeah, our first place, our pole sitter, and our second place car are both the biggest losers at the moment.
Closing in on halfway, almost 2/4 of the way done here, Chris. And we will be halfway. But Huntley has taken the lead back away from Deutscher on the outside lane. Here comes Slaughter around the outside as well, taking that position away from Deutscher too. So Deutscher falls down to 3rd position.
Ooh, and did I see a downshift?
Yes, they are downshifting from 4th to 5th, 5th to 4th. So.
Ooh, somebody up in the wall, sounds like. Nothing major.
I think it's to be maybe Dion. It is, from the looks of things of the scoring, it looks like it is Dion. He was in 10th, battling for 9th, but I think he could have got a bit arrow tight, got up in the wall. Now he's down to 12th position. So I think that might have been who we were hearing.
Go back and see here. No, that was just the loss.
Gotcha, just some
Don't
momentum.
wanna- Well, I think it happened on the back stretch. I just didn't want to dig too
Gotcha.
far.
Look at Del Rapp. He's moving up the field in the 52 car. He's battling Brandon Moore at the moment. So that's a battle that is intensifying for 6th position. Top 5 is somewhat broken away. Huntley, Slaughter, Deutscher, Bridgman, Woodrum. So 46 laps complete, and what is it? 3 cautions? 2 cautions? It's 2, right?
2, yeah.
Okay. I always like to get ahead of myself, Chris, with the caution count. I always like to think that more exciting stuff has happened than it has.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this thing stays green and they go do some green flag pit stops. We might get one of those car-to-car cautions. And it looks like Zach back to the rear end of Brian. Looking underneath, I don't think he's going to be able to clear him. Yeah, Brian's going to get that nice run off the outside going down the back stretch. And here comes Slaughter. So yeah, not seeing the inside line have any dominance over that outside line. That run that you get coming off that corner is just too much.
And that outside lane historically has always been so great with keeping the momentum and the speed up, built up on the outside. So
Now Slaughter on the outside of Wisher. Through the bumper, a nice little tap.
oh, contact car up in the wall. I couldn't tell who that was, but right out of turn 4 there, coming to the stripe, somebody got in the wall.
It might have been Josh Small. He had been passed. Yeah. That's the one thing this thing doesn't tell you. I wish it would with. You know, I wish it would tell you contact. You know, with wall or whatever. It just lets you know if someone's been passed and if there's a wreck. Oh, but the 88. A little into the wall out of 2. Dropped back 9 positions since the green flag here, but he also did not take tires, so
that's finally come back to haunt Brandon here. At the moment, at least, he's only in 9th position, still inside the top 10. Just over 3.5 seconds away from the battling top 5 of Deutscher, Huntley, Slaughter, Bridgman, and Pete Woodrum straggling on a little bit further back.
the 14 up in the wall kind of stuck there, it appeared to be for a little bit. Looks like Pete Woodrum up 14 positions. And the number 13 car behind Mike Slaughter. Robbie Bice making a move up through the field. Sitting in that 16th position.
Don't want to jinx nothing, but this is pretty much our longest green flag run of the day.
Might see some green flag pit stops.
If it
Knock on
stays
wood.
green, we just might have to. Because like I said earlier, with the fuel mileage and percentage being like it is, 70% fuel and getting no more than, say, 44, 45 laps, it's looking to be a close one, that's for sure.
So about 20 laps from now. Maybe a
I
little
would
bit
say
less.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
I think we're looking at window about 70 to 83. Somewhere in there. See the 54, Matt Bryant kind of dropping back. He's actually on pit road now. He had the latest caution spin across the infield coming down pit road. You know what? Since we're still green flag running, let's go ahead. We're gonna run some crank it up.
All right, Chris.
right, hopefully everyone enjoyed that little crank it up session we had. Some pretty great racing going on as we're approaching that window to come down on the pit road here.
Yes, Chris, some drivers have already made that pit stop.
Oh, I see that. Yep, Paul Lawson
Thank you.
pitted. Matthew pitted. He was one that stayed out. Did not take, or he did not stay out, but he did not take tires. Fuel only the last time in. Looks like someone else might be getting ready to come down. Maybe Anthony Lane. He's on the top side, so I don't think he's in a position to come down. He's not. Water still working on Brian Huntley up there in the front. I think this race is going to come down to one of these three. Brian, Mike, or Zach. Who's going to get the win here? Even Pete Woodrum, he's there in the 4th position, kind of far back.
Pete's a good runner. It's just normally he has a lot of bad luck happen his way, or never can seem to be there at the end. For some reason, something happens to Pete. It just always seems to be that way. But yeah, at the moment, it seems to be either Huntley, Slaughter, or Deutscher. At the moment, don't know what happened to Bridgman. Bridgman was up here, but he has fallen 5.5 seconds back in 5th position. Like I said, don't know if he found one of his friendly walls he loves to rub once in a while, or maybe he was trying to read the billboards like I do sometimes. Who knows what could have happened to Phil? But like I said, he was up here in like he's still in the top 5, but he was further up here. He was with them, is what I'm trying to say, Chris. You know that. So closing in on the 3rd quarter mark, and almost to basically when I would say that pay window truly starts to open finally at that 25 lap to go mark.
Looks like,
this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, looks like Robert Amaral down on pit road. It's a 4-tire stop, and away he goes.
I got everything on here except for like who's led laps. I've got everything on this like scoring sheet here, except for who's been leading laps and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, I don't have that either.
But I tell you what, I'm pretty sure Huntley has led the most at the moment. So far the 72, he's been out front the most, I think. One of the Menards cars, I tell you, you're going to save big money at Menards here tonight. So, let me see on the handy dandy schedule where we will be next week. Hold your taters, hold your horses. Martinsville. We will be at the Paperclip next week. And we will be at Bristol Tuesday for the Truck Series. So come over to the BNR Racing Network. Yeah, you're not already. That's where we'll be Tuesday with the Truck Series.
And he said Martinsville. Or
Martinsville
Sunday.
next week. Yes, next Sunday for the BNR Cup Series here. And then the 3rd race of the season is Long Beach. The 4th race of the season is Talladega. And the 5th race of the season, I'll leave us at that at the moment, is Texas. So
nice.
It's a nice, wonderful first 5, each one a banger within their own right of a track to start us off. This 20 race little schedule here. Couple of few weeks to start us off.
Man, it looks like green flag pit stops are fully engaged here as everybody comes in. Everyone besides Anthony Lane and Aaron Bradford, the only two that are still on that last pit cycle tires or fuel. And Robbie Weiss, he has made his way up. He's in the, well, he was in the third position. He's gonna kind of fall back a little bit here. But it looks like he might come out in maybe the top 10. Yep, he's gonna come out in 10th, 11th place. And he's dropping those 3 cars that just came around past him. But the 81 of Anthony Lane and the 5 of Aaron Bradford still out on the track. And it looks like Mike Slaughter right there in front of Bradford. Oh, Bradford up in the wall. Anthony Lane comes down pit road. Brian Huntley about one half of the track in front of Slaughter. Brian Huntley going into turn number 3 as Slaughter's coming around turn number 2's exit. So about a straightaway and a corner separates him from Brian Huntley, our leader. And what's crazy is that Slaughter he was on pit road for less time than Brian Huntley was. Even a shorter pit stop of 14:43 compared to Brian Huntley of 15:20. But Brian still has that big of a gap on him. So maybe Mike Slaughter had a little bit of an issue getting onto pit road. We are now closing in on 20 laps to go this time by. 2 yellows only for single car spins. Brian getting right nice and personal with that wall on turn 4 exit.
I mean, that's pretty much where you want to be, that high line and handsome here. Pretty much one of the fastest, best ways around this track. Now, let's not forget, that other Menards car, Deutscher there in second place. He's going to be one to beat here. Him and Huntley, they might get rough and tough, rock 'em, sock 'em here. You got to be careful between these two. You never know. It kind of brings me back. I might get PTSD from it. You never know, Chris. So that's why I'm up here, not down there. One of the reasons. So, yes. Brandon Moore in third position, Slaughter fourth, Woodrum fifth. Woodrum having a stand-up top 5 run, and Bill Hayes is back up here inside the top 10 in 6th position at the moment. But for how long can that pace hold on to? He's pretty much been outside the top 10 all night up until this point. I mean, he qualified, what was that, second or third? And he's trying to even get himself back into the top 5. So at the moment, he's trying to get up and navigate by Woodrum. So, but closing in on 15 laps remaining, 16 here, or 17 here to go. Bill Hells and Pete Woodrum battling for fifth position. I bet said 15th. So 5th position there. Huntley and Deutscher. Deutscher getting a little bit closer, I think, to Huntley now. Or it just could still be at that same. Yeah, they're still even in tow, it looks like.
Slaughter now 7, almost 8 seconds behind Brian Huntley. And then looking a little bit further, the top 13 on the lead lap, Anthony Lane, the first one a lap down, so if caution does come out, Anthony will get that lucky dog position.
Yeah, there's a few good cars trapped a lap down. You probably wasn't expecting to be seen a lap down. So.
Ooh, and actually, looks like Robert getting chased down. You can see on your screen Brian right behind him.
Yes, and battle for the lead kind of ensuing. Zach is getting now within a 10th of a second, right there at the back bumper, like he has been before.
He's just riding in that same groove, taking that air, not using those tires up, and I feel like he's gonna pounce here, and I'm probably about. You want to make your move with about 5 or less to go, I guess.
Either that, or you almost don't want to drive person's mistake that they make in front of you, right, Chris? So
Right.
if the person in front of you makes a mistake, well, you want to hopefully steer clear of that the best you can. So much can happen.
And Brian right there breaking that little bit of a draft off as they pass Robert Amaral. He swings up in front of Amaral to kind of get Deutscher away from him.
Yeah, Deutscher and Brian pretty equal here. Deutscher trying to just ever so slightly peak some fresh air to that automobile of his. And like you say, Huntley just having that better line and just dumping that dirty air on the nose of the two. Almost controlling where the two goes, so to speak. Coming to 10 laps to go here at the stripe, Chris.
It's been one heck of a race here tonight. Like I said, 2 cautions only for single car spins. These guys have put on one heck of a show.
Do you have to do another race after this?
Yes, actually, yep. Got a.
Hey, man, we both working double duty.
Got one of the new mini stock series coming up after this.
Nice.
Here in 2 weeks, I'll have a third one after that.
I got Glen 45 laps at the Glen with a next gen car.
Yeah, my league, we took on the Glen in our Xfinity series last Monday for, I think we did 60 laps. With 2 stage cautions at that, too.
Glacier and Huntley still ever so present up here at the front of the field. 12 cars remaining on the lead lap. Jimmy Hudson is the last car on the lead lap. Kevin Roy is second to last, but he has plenty of room before he is in the danger zone, as I like to call it, Chris. So.
Yeah, and just watching these guys for the last 15 laps or so, does the 2 have enough to get around, do we wonder?
Well, that's a good question. Because at the moment, and it just looks like he's having to just be in his tire tracks, right? There was a couple of times earlier on, a few laps ago, where you thought if he could have just got a side draft, get alongside. Oh, big moment there, coming out of turn number 4, or through turn number 4 for the number 2 car of Deutscher. So yeah,
I like to call that broadcast embarrassment. Hooked to his in-car camera and then he messed up. That's kind of true. I'm one of those guys when I'm racing on Monday nights and I know my broadcast is up. I like to have it on my 4th screen and I sometimes look up at it.
5 laps remaining. Huntley kind of been dominant in this race with a little bit of help from Deutscher here and there. A few leaders. Slaughter has led a little bit. Like I said, it'd be helpful if with SDK giving me everybody that has led, but that's okay. I didn't want that information, I guess. So I don't want to say Huntley has it in the clear. Anything can happen. A half a second lead is not much, Chris. It may look like a lot, but it's not. You know that at the end of the day.
Right, anything could happen, like you said. Oh, Zach get a little loose there.
Three laps remaining. Kevin Roy looking to maybe get a little bit closer to Matt Hunsaker, but I don't know. Maybe Hunsaker might be able to fend off Kevin Roy. I kind of call Kevin Roy kind of a David Pearson-esque driver. He always shows up late in the going and always very feisty at the end of these races, always trying to get what he can get at the end as far as the top 10 day. So looks like a good battle for the top 10 when it's all said and done, though. But Brian Huntley coming to get the white flag this time by out of turn number 4, Chris.
Here we go. Four more corners left.
Yes, Deutscher has fallen back to about 1.25 seconds, just about. Brandon Moore, 8 1/4. And Slaughter, 9.5. So no resistance here unless Deutscher can navigate this traffic and even flow.
Last thing Brian wants to do is get caught up in that dirty air of the car in front of him. He's not going to have to worry about it as he takes the checkered flag here. Brian Huntley, the winner here at Kansas in race number 1. Deutscher comes home in 2nd, Brandon Moore in 3rd. Mike Slaughter going to cross in 4th, Bill Hales in 5th, Bridgman in 6th, and Pete Woodrum in 7th. Look at that, Robbie Bice, after being the biggest loser 20 positions back, going to come home in 8th place here tonight. And then Josh Small going to finish in 9th, 15 positions up from where he qualified. But Brian Huntley going to get it done here at Kansas for race number 1 in the BNR Racing League. Take a look at our final results here momentarily.
Pretty outstanding race, too. Only, 2 cautions, like you said. They were nothing too dramatic either.
All right, we're going to stand by for a moment here as we get set up for the top 3 interviews. And there we go, our first one, our second one. First and second place in the house. We'll go ahead and we'll do Zach here. Hey
It is.
Zach, it's
Me. Hello.
Chris and Will up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Oh, I do.
Bringing it home in second place here. We were wondering how this thing was going to play it out if you had enough to catch the 12 there, Brian Huntley, and overall a great effort and a great race for you tonight.
Yeah, I thought I had a chance there, Brian, but that dirty air, it's really hard to get around somebody, and he was fast. I'm just surprised how far away he broke from the rest of the pack. But yeah, car was good all night. Just after you get so many laps on, it starts getting tighter and tighter and looser after that. But all in all, 1-2 for Penske and a top 3 for our new team, STR Motorsports.
Yeah, it was a great race all night. We saw you battling up in the front along with Brian and Mike Slaughter. Kind of walk us through. I mean, was this race what you expected? Was it more than what you expected? How do you think this is going to play out?
It was a normal Kansas. The top line is going to be dominant, but you can't get overconfident up there because the longer you go, the more chances you're going to hit that wall. But it's honestly what I expected, a good race, but I'm surprised how we got spread out so much there. Kind of like a
Yeah.
draft track in a way.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one to watch, a fun one to broadcast at that. A lot of action without it being wreck action. It was a lot of just two wide battles, seeing what, track line would dominate the other in each turn. An overall great race for you. Any sponsors or anyone you want to give a shout out to or thank you to?
Yeah, you guys for broadcasting. Love listening to you guys while we're racing. Me and Philip's new team, STR, we both got a top 10, so that's a pretty solid finish for both of us. All the friends and family that watched this, Penske Motorsports 1-2 for us if you look at it that way. So on to next week.
All right, man. Well, congratulations getting the second place here. It's a top 3 on the first race here at Kansas. We head to Martinsville next Sunday. So what do we have in store there?
Anything can happen in Martinsville. Hope you guys start in the front, track positions, everything. So just who's there at the end is really what it's going to come down to.
All right, man. We look forward to seeing you there at Martinsville. You got anything to add, Will?
Yeah, congratulations there, Zach, and hope Martin's for you, I suppose.
Heck yeah, thank you guys.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. All right. Before we get to our winner, we got Brandon Moore, our third place finisher. Hey, Brandon. It's Chris Will up in the booth. You got a copy?
What was that?
Great race tonight. Third place finish. We saw you start off that second green flag restart after that second caution up there in the top, and started to kind of fall back, but I don't think you really broke out of the or fell out of the top 10 before green flag pit stops. But you were able to make your way back up to a third place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was trying to not burn another set of tires, so this second caution I didn't take tires, and then the fall off, everybody started passing, and then the tires kind of leveled off, and then we was able to run back towards the front. But considering the bad call on the tires, it is a really good run. I was tickled with it.
Hey, it was a very great race out there tonight. 2 cautions, like I had mentioned a little bit ago, for single car spins. So I guess going into this race, I mean, where were the expectations at?
I figured that's about what it would be. We might have 1 or 2 cautions. We'll probably be looking, at an entirely different race next week at Martinsville. Be a real challenging event for all the drivers, and probably going to be a couple more than 2 or 3. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a very small track. I've personally have never been on that track with this next gen model. It's definitely going to be a fun one to watch as well as broadcast, commentate, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna leave the floor open to you. Any sponsors on the car? Any sponsors, period, in your racing? Anyone you want to give a shout out to or a thank you to?
I just want to thank all the drivers who came out to put on the show tonight. Thank the broadcast booth. Thank all the admins who put work into getting going, and happy with the P3 finish. Looking forward to next week at Martinsville, and hope to come home next week with all 4 fenders and quarters on the car.
Definitely go out there and secure that pole position next week. We'll look forward to talking to you more this season, as well as maybe we'll talk to you again next week.
Yep, that sounds good. Appreciate y'all. Hope everybody has a good.
Thank you. You have a great night as well and a great week ahead. And congratulations on the P3.
Thank you.
All right, that was Brandon Moore, our 3rd place finisher. But now let's dive into the man of the hour, the winner here, Mr. Brian Hunt Jr. You got a copy, bud?
I sure do, buddy.
All right, man. Congratulations coming out on the race number 1 here at Kansas, swinging, getting that victory, leading the most laps, leading, a big chunk of this race here tonight. I don't know the exact number of laps, but able to come out here with a victory, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I can probably let you know that here shortly how many laps.
That's one thing that, like we were saying earlier, I wish that I could have that, or we could have that period, but be some great knowledge to have on SDK, but we don't have that. But anyway, as we wait for that, kind of walk us through. I mean, how did this race turn out? How did you think it was going to turn out? Let you have the floor.
So coming into here, by the way, I led 71 laps. There you go. Yep. I like Kansas personally. Now on here compared to the console side of things, it is a multi-lane groove. So as you saw me and Zach were doing, majority of the night. But pretty much I knew this race was going to go pretty good. Steady for the most part. 2 cautions, not bad at all for 7 laps. So overall, the car handled pretty good. Old tires, oh my goodness, I don't like it. Absolutely does not. That's that first caution we got. I ended up just coming down for fuel. I didn't take no tires or nothing. I just took fuel only. And then after a car got to the left quarter of the car, I didn't like it. It just got very loose, so I'm stalling on the wheel. But I would say overall race, I thought it was pretty dang good. Not too bad at all. Period. Impressed. A good turnout. Let's see how next week goes.
Yeah, we go to Martinsville next week. So, what should we expect from you at Martinsville next week?
You ain't gonna expect nothing from me next week. I have a wedding to attend back
Oh.
home, so unfortunately, Will knows how very dominant force I could be at Martinsville, but it's a heartbreaker. So unfortunately, I will not be here. How do I think it's gonna turn out? Well, I'm just gonna say this: you'll probably have quite a few cautions next week than you did have here tonight, unless they somehow surprise me and actually maintain it. These drivers know no quick fixes, so once you wreck that, and that is it. So, Martinsville should be a very entertaining track for you and Will. The admins might not like it so much because it's more extra work for them to do, but Martinsville rhythm track. You got to know your lift points. You got to watch when the guy in front of you breaks, and try not to worry so much about the car behind you because Chris, you race on iRace, and Martinsville's a B.
Yes.
Especially if your lift points are different than the person in
Mhm.
front of you, it's gonna be bad. So my tip for all the drivers and admins going in there is try to hang out the best you can until the last 10 laps and then do your thing. So, unfortunately, like I said, I won't be there as much as I want to, but that's my spiel on Martinsville. So,
All right, man. Yeah, like you said, it's just a matter of lifting, and not everyone lifts at the same point. Some lift later, some lift a lot sooner, and that's the one bad thing. If you lift late going into Martinsville and you're behind someone that lifts, way earlier, a lot of those wrecks are gonna happen from corner entrances. So it's gonna be a fun one. I'm excited. I love to watch Martinsville. Like I said, I love to
oh,
watch
so do
it.
I. As a broadcaster, I like watching it.
I love to watch Martinsville, Bristol, any of those super short tracks. I love to watch those. But
Because it's interesting, because you never know what you're going to get.
right, exactly. Yeah. You could have, one or two cautions, or you could have about 20. It just it depends on, like you said, the patience, I guess.
Yep.
All right, man. I'm gonna open up the floor once again to you for any shout outs, any thank yous, any sponsors, anything that you wanna go ahead and do.
Yes, I would first like to thank you guys for coming out. Yourself, Chris, and Will. Um, I know Will's doing double duty. Quite a few drivers are doing double duty on Sundays. So thank you guys for being here, putting on the show. My admin core group, myself, Bradford, Josh, Campbell, JP when he's here, Tyler Myers when he's here, um, Zach, part of Team Penske, and just all the drivers that came out tonight to put on a good show for the viewers watching. And what else? What else? Yeah. And the win tonight goes to everybody. Uh, and then yesterday I ended up finishing P4 Kansas, so pretty good night overall. But once again, thank you guys. Thank all my admin crew, all the drivers come out each and every week. To the viewers at home watching, promise we ain't gonna let you down. We'll have plenty of good shows for you guys, and that's about all I got.
All right, man. Well, congratulations once again on getting the victory on the opening race of this season. And no, we're not going to be able to talk to you next week, but look forward to talking to you in the booth again for many other races this season.
Yes, sir. Have yourself a good one.
Thank you. You too.
You too.
All right, Will. That about wraps it up here tonight. Got to talk to our top three players here. I guess just breaking down the race. 2 cautions for single car wrecks. Just self spins, I guess you can call it, off of turn number 4. Both having zero contact with another driver.
Yeah, great. Car can at least be able to lock it down. Excuse me, Chris. Sorry. I think we're going to see at least, 8 to 10 cautions next week in Martinsville, just because Martinsville. So this race, heck of a race. We had a lot of action. It may have been a lot of dominating performance by Brian, but there was some moments where, Philip Bridgman and Zach Deutscher, Mike Slaughter, everybody tried to get a piece in, but, only one can lead. So, like I said, we saw some battling. It was great, but Martinsville's going to be a whole nother can of worms next week, Chris.
Yeah, and it all comes down to just that patience. That patience is going to be key next week. As we stated earlier with Brian, it just comes down to, I guess, if you're going to be behind a late breaker, or if you're going to be the late breaker or early breaker. Going to be a fun one.
Everybody's going to have different breaking points, like Brian. Yes, that's a key point to talk about.
But what a great race here to open this season off. Brian Huntley getting the win. Zach Deutscher in second. Brandon Moore going to come in third. Mike Slaughter in fourth. Bill Hales in fifth. Philip Bridgman In 6th, Pete Woodrum 7th, Robbie Weiss 8th, Josh Small 9th, and Matthew Hunsaker going to round out the top 10 here. And that about does it here from Kansas on BMRL Network. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up, as well as a notification bell, as that'll allow or let you know when we go live next Sunday. We'll be kicking these lives off 4 p.m. Central Time or 5 p.m. Eastern before we open it up for the qualifying to start at 4:25 or 5:25, depending on where you live. Once again, thank you for joining me here tonight, Will, and look forward to being in the booth with you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay tuned. We got more racing coming to you from BMRL Network, and I know you guys have more racing here, though, in BNR, right?
Oh, yes, tons. This is race 1.
Kind of cut out. After race 1, it cut out.
All right, you got me, Chris?
Yep, there you are. Okay.
Yes, this is race 1 of a 20 race going into the fall/winter season, and kind of having something to do until they start back up again next season, so to speak. And then the truck series, like I said, race 1 was this past Tuesday, so 20 races as well. So kind of split this year in half, so 2 seasons out of it in total with the year. So yes, indeed, lots of racing still to come in the BNR.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and let's go get him at Martinsville next week.